do 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 do. What a day, boys! What a day! Oh man.
Not really, to be honest with you. I mean, as a Liverpool fan, I should be a little more happy than I am, but after watching that, I kind of just want to bleach my eyeballs out because
Yeah,
it was
it
so
was
bad.
a tough one to watch, but it's
It's
pretty much what you would have expected, though.
it's really funny because for the viewers out there, Mucky, it's your birthday. Like
Yeah, yeah.
big day. Big day.
25,
And
getting old.
I can't believe that this was the footy that they decided to give you as a gift.
Shocking.
This is absurd. This is absurd.
The Spurs just playing tricks on me.
Too many tricks. Far
Yep.
too many. But for everyone out there, welcome back to another episode of Remotely Related. I'm Kenny. We got Smitty. We got Mucky. And we have hilarious footy to recap today. I feel like, for those who don't know or aren't aware, Spurs captured their first trophy in 17 years, defeating United for the fourth time this season. Now, we're going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about what it means for Spurs, what it means for United, and we'll be on our way. But honestly, I'll leave this to you guys. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with the good. Let's start with the positive.
In the game?
Not really. There
Okay.
wasn't many positives.
We're going to talk about the game a little bit.
I mean, Spurs won a final without creating a chance, which is pretty impressive. I will say, I think for the first time in maybe 6 months, Ange, it seemed like he had a plan. And yes, they had a lot of injuries, but once they went up that goal, they said, we're going to pack it in. And they packed it in. And they knew. United. This isn't United of the old. There's no individual difference makers. We all like Bruno, but there's only so much Bruno can do to carry this team. And I think I was pretty proud of Spurs today and how they performed. It was ugly, but they did what they had to do to win a trophy. And shout out to Ange, because now he has a quote that's going to live in the history books. And
Talk about manifestations.
And no one's going to care that they finished 16th either. That's the best thing about it. The worst part about this game was whoever lost, that's all they're going to get remembered for. The winner is going to be like, we won a trophy. Who cares? That's where it's the bad side for United. But for Spurs, who cares? You won a trophy.
Well,
good for you.
Statistically, like you were speaking, this is probably the worst final in Europa League history. Like 16th versus 17th domestically in the league. You don't really see that often. Mucky, I want to pass this one to you. Did you get the chance to watch any of the game? Did you see anything that you wanted to call out? Funny, good, bad, ugly? Because there's probably more of the ugly, but...
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much entirely ugly. I didn't expect anything else. Yeah, I was able to catch most of the match. I was watching at my desk. So I was pretty checked out today at work. But yeah, it was really, really bad. I'll say for Spurs to win 1-0, and as Schmitty mentioned, I think they had one shot on target and 3 shots total against United. It's just shocking. Andre Onana on that goal.
Oh, please, let's
doing?
get right into it.
Well,
Yeah, he's a statue.
to be fair to Onana, Vicario tried to give one back when
They were
Van de
going
Ven had the
bam
goal
for
line
bam.
clearance. Because I don't know what Solanke and Vicario were doing on that too, but no, Onana's a statue. Like, you'd be better off having a dog in goal with one of those invisible fences and have it only be able to stand within the goal frame. The dog would save more shots than Onana.
Yeah, I don't know, though, because at least a statue, if it gets hit in the spot, it's going to get saved. With Onana, I feel like he's more of a mime. He's just trying to recreate being a goalkeeper, and he's trying to do all these moves that a goalkeeper would, but he simply just isn't a keeper. This is a scammer from I don't know where he's from, but he has scammed United millions of dollars so many points. And I can't believe, actually, I can believe that he's done this in a final because he's never won a final before. Andre Onana is a joke, man. He's a joke. I'm so over this dude, bro.
Do you know how bad yet? Like, do you guys remember De Gea's last season at United? How many mistakes he
Yeah,
made?
can't forget it.
Like, he had to go. I think we all agree to that. He was great for the club, but the last year he had to leave. For you to come in, what was it, 40 million? 50 maybe?
50?
Somewhere in that range? For you to come in and be this bad just goes to show you all the problems at Manchester United. And another guy on the pitch today that costs money, a lot of money,
Mm.
that he usually doesn't play because he's always injured. But Mason Mount, what has happened? This guy's career has gone downhill so fast. I'd I'd beg the argument that he has had a downward slope worse than Jack Grealish has in the past 5 years.
I don't know, just because Jack Grealish we saw play footy for the last 18 months. At least Mason Mount was hurt and chilling. Jack Grealish, he's probably joining the Spurs celebration right now. This man will do everything but play footy.
Well,
So
Mason Mount should just stay chilling because what I saw today was terrible. Not
I
just
don't
him,
I don't blame
Amram.
that. Yeah, I don't blame that on Mason Mount. I blame that on Amarim for letting him
I
play 70.
I don't know
Well,
if
I
in
think
England.
I've been seeing on social media people have been thinking that Mason Mount's on the come up because he's gotten what 2 goals
Because of two
in
goals.
yeah 2 goals and they have we watched this guy like we haven't a ton but when we have it's been abysmal. I mean this is a
I
guy that was
don't
on the English national team like 2 years ago starting
Wearing the 7.
yeah
playing a Champions League final for Chelsea. I don't know if England has like a most wanted list like the US has, but Ruben Amram should be on there. He cannot stay in that country. Like I hate to say it, I think he might have to go.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there because he is a big factor as to why Man United lost his final. And for anyone who wanted to find red flags in Amarim's game, this was the game for it.
Well, they're just adding up at this point, Kenny.
But this,
Like
if you, yeah, it's like you
yeah.
see the light. You can finally see the light.
this was the bomb that went off at the
Yeah,
end of the
yeah,
tunnel.
everyone's like, oh, he's actually not that guy. But I feel like in the first 5 minutes, I don't know if you guys got to see it. Something I thought was really funny was that there were just mistakes on both sides. It was the most frantic footy that I've ever seen in my life. And I'm just like, wow, the passion for them to win is there. You can see it in their face, you can see it in their effort. But at some point, you need the quality, and you just saw how 16th versus 17th would look in a final, which I think just set up everything for the rest of the game.
It was like watching UMass and St. Bonaventure
Yeah,
play.
that is a
Like
great
a
shout.
derby match, and they're just gonna smash bodies around.
Yeah.
But they're not. No, neither team is keeping the ball.
They don't want the ball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't even think Spurs. I don't think United even have had the passion in the game to go smash the bodies around. It literally looked like they were just like, whatever. It is what it is. Like
Oh, it's
I've heard
lackluster.
I've heard so many people say that it's the worst Man United has ever played in a final.
It might be.
And it probably is.
If your man of the match is either Dorgu or Lenny Yoro, then there's issues. There's issues because if you want to talk about it, Bruno Fernandes and Ahmed Diallo, I love these players, but that was abysmal. That was abysmal from them.
Well, to be fair to Bruno, he's playing deeper so they can push Mason Mount forward up the pitch. So, like, you know what I mean here. Like, I'm not a Bruno guy, but at some point you got to be like, this guy. There's nothing. If you're a Man United fan, you can't like have any glimmer of hope of saying this manager is going to work out in combination of all the bad decisions that they make as a club and who they buy.
Uh,
Like, this has to be one of the darkest periods ever for Manchester United. Because now you really can't fix it in the summer. Like, if you had Champions League, at least you'd have the flexibility to spend money. Now I don't know what they can do. They literally have to act like they're Crystal Palace and they have to sell all their players to spend money this year. It's crazy.
Is Bruno Fernandes the James Harden of the Premier League?
It's a good take. I think Bruno is actually going to have to be the sacrificial lamb for this Manchester United team.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have to sell him to go. Yeah, Kenny, I think they do. Kenny, I think they have to go one step back to go two steps forward.
You can't go one step back because then that's relegation.
Yeah, that's my point. They might have to.
You can't do that.
Yeah, but he's their only player that's worth anything.
Like, no.
He has to get some money somehow, and Amorim needs to be able to build his own team if they're going to give him a shot. And Bruno's the only player on their squad that's probably worth any money, like at all.
No, I know that.
If you say he ends up in Saudi and you get like 120 million for him because they don't care, like that's honestly the best possible resolution for United. Let's be honest. It's like, why does Bruno even want to be there anymore? He probably doesn't. So
he does.
Just sell him.
No,
Let
he
him
does.
Go.
He does.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
No, he
Stop
doesn't.
it. Stop it. He does.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Kenny, I just watched somebody spend 20 years at a club leave for Real Madrid, and they're winning trophies. This guy hasn't won a trophy. He hardly touches.
And that's why he wants
trophies.
To be there.
No,
someone who's not winning still wants to be there.
No.
Like, he hasn't won. He would have left earlier.
No.
What is he, 31? Yeah, he clearly wants to be there. I can't allow that.
He shouldn't. He shouldn't.
That's a different conversation. I'm not mad at
United,
that part.
As important as he is, they shouldn't want him there either because he's their biggest moneymaker. And they need to completely retool. Well, and you're just ruining his career. Whether he wants to be there or not is a different discussion. You're just wasting his talent. So let him go free and fly his wings. He's only got like maybe 3 years left playing at the top level. He's old. Let him go. Get the money. Start with some more trash cans that don't have any ability like he does.
Just letting that one breathe for a little bit. That's fine. I feel like during this game too, because I don't want to make it individualistic. Mucky, did you see anyone on the United side, or even with Spurs, because we'll get to Spurs in a little bit, but anyone that you wanted to call out besides those two? Anyone that just...
Ahmad had one good shot and a really good cross at the end that could have almost saved the match to Luke Shaw, but those are probably his only two good actions. That's probably the only player that I could highlight of like those. I don't even know. It's hard to even pick a player based on this match.
I agree. No, I agree, because based on that 11, based on everything that came out, United was horrible. Absolutely horrible. And again, I know it's like the players this, the players that, and clearly they showed like they lack quality. But Amorim, for Kobe Mainu to only play 3 minutes in that game, for Mason Mount to last 70 minutes on the pitch, like for all these things to be happening, even for Højlund to last 70 minutes, it wasn't even his fault, because he should have had a goal today if it wasn't for Van de Ven risking his hamstrings again for Ange and saving the ball off the line. But Amorim's decision making just exposed far too much for me. And the fact that you went like that in a final, where the final was your saving grace, is disgraceful. It's absolutely disgraceful.
Well, Højlund's the worst striker in the league. I don't think there's any doubt about that. You can't convince me otherwise.
I haven't seen Southampton play this year.
I bet if this guy left though and he goes to another club, he turns into 20 goals a season.
No, not him.
No, yeah,
I think
he's
he
so
does.
shocked. But look at Anthony. Anthony.
Yeah, but that's different though. Like,
is it?
I don't know.
Anthony
like
could not kick a ball.
Ronaldo left United and went to Al Nassr and scored 55 goals in a year. Like,
Ronaldo was still dropping. He was still dropping 20, 25 for United.
I know, he should have stayed. That's what I said. They should have kept Ole, too. He's been their best manager they've had in the past 5 years.
Well, United needs to stop looking in the past. Honestly, it's probably old. It might get worse, but
they're
it
scared to
needs to
look in the
get.
future.
Well,
It might have to get worse in order for them to get better. If that makes any sense.
that's what I said. Just sell your best player. I think what we got to do is we just got to stop acting like their players are good. Like, we just got to stop. Garnacho doesn't start for any Big Six club other than United.
Garnacho should have played a lot more, and I think he would have been a lot better than Mason Mount today.
Diallo, good player.
Class.
Doesn't touch the top four. Who else? Hoyland, obviously, doesn't touch the top four. Mainu doesn't touch the top four. All their center backs don't touch the top four. Bruno is the only player in their team that plays for a team that is good enough to play for a team that finishes in the top six. I'm not having any other argument. I can't have it. Because if they were, they wouldn't be 17th in trophyless. And Spurs, similar situation. I don't know if they have any that play for a top six team either.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like we've talked a lot about United, and it's thoroughly deserved because that display in the final was shambolic. But on the good news, on the bright side, Spurs did win their trophy, and I feel like we can give them the credit for getting it done in the final because, like you said earlier, Smitty, it was a lot of tactics, or they finally switched tactics and got the job done. So any thoughts on like how they just played throughout the game? Anything that you guys saw that you wanted to call out?
Do you know how low quality the game has to be for not to... There wasn't like any memorable moments in the game.
Well,
like what? Like it was the quickest 90 minutes I've ever seen.
I will say, Vicario, the streets won't forget how bad of a performance you had because you tried to take this to extra time. You really did, but shout out Spurs' back line, Romero and Van de Ven and Udogie for getting it done. But I don't know if you guys noticed, but for me, I saw a Spurs team that was just more athletic than a United and was able to really just, not like man mark, but kind of just press for a long time throughout the game. And then when it was time to sit back and park the bus, that's exactly what they did. So I want to give credit for Spurs because it's class.
You know, it's funny.
A good goal line clearance. That's like the only memorable moment. This was a tough game for me as an Arsenal fan. I wasn't sure who I wanted to win. Like normally it would be United because I hate Spurs. But in a sense, I guess I'm a little happy that Sonny won a trophy. He's been there for so long. He didn't really contribute a ton, but shout out to Son. He's a good dude, lovable guy.
He deserves it.
Yep. But United, I honestly, I was rooting for Spurs. I can't root for United, especially watching them play like they did. Like, you can't root for that kind of football. It's ugly. Which was ugly on both sides.
And Spurs won a trophy at the same season.
That's what I'm saying. I'm scared the world's ending because all this is happening. And, like, I get it. Like, the trend of trophies this year has been, like, the year of the birds or whatever. Like, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, now Spurs. I think there's a fourth one I'm forgetting.
Newcastle. Isn't Newcastle, maybe? Something?
I think so. I think something like that.
I think.
Hot take. Hear me out. Let's give Ange another season.
Hey, mate.
Why not?
It probably will.
Why not?
I said I win stuff in my second season. Whatever you think you are, I am. I'm Big Ange.
I think they actually have to. Here's the thing. Here's my thought process.
I don't know, man.
It's been bad. It's been really bad. But they have had so many injuries, though. Like, as harsh as we are on him. See, we're mad at Ange because he didn't change his tactics. Now, what if his players come back healthy and they have Champions League money to spend now? Like we've always said, Ange ball works if you have good players. If they can stay healthy and the hamstrings don't deteriorate, let's run it back.
The scary thing is that
maybe they'll get 10th place next year.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, the scary thing is, Ange in his post-game interviews He's just saying like, I think that tournament footy is different from in the season footy, but does that mean you're not going to change your tactics in the Prem? Because if that's so, couple that with Champions League, your team is going to be in the same exact situation, potentially worse with
Well,
the intensity of Champions League.
they'll be out of Champions League in the group stage.
Like,
I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't think they'll make it past the group stage.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
They have no business playing Champions League next year,
It's
but it will be fun to watch.
yeah. No, I mean, honestly, I feel like everyone is just saying more credit to Spurs because that's what's deserved. Um, they somehow had a game plan for the first time this season and executed on it, and it worked. So I think they deserve all the credit in the world. Shout out Richarlison for cramping in the 60th minute. I've been there. I get it.
He gave it his all.
He gave it his all. He was doing the celly, a little bird celly throughout the entire game. He fought for it. He fought. But I don't know. It was just so funny because I was just going through IG, and every time I'm swiping, I just saw more and more Spurs fans, and I'm just like, wait, all these people that like I'm following or whatever have just gone through 17 years of no trophy, still watching footy. Like, oh yeah. I feel bad for them, but
They're closeted Spurs fans.
that's what they came out today. Coming out
Yeah.
party, big party. But yeah, I feel like we talked about what it means for United. For Spurs, what do we think the expectation is now for next year?
Literally nothing. Like finish in the top 10 should be the
They're
expectation.
just happy to be
I'm not
there.
even kidding.
That's it.
Just happy to be there.
Like you can't genuinely say that their ambition should be to finish in the top 4 next year.
How much
I
money
think
do
they're
you get?
so far off it. I don't think it matters, dude. I think they're so far off it. Plus, whether Ange stays or not, like the money might be there, but if you have to bring a new manager, and that's rolling the dice.
Yeah, I don't know. If you get, because they were saying like 100 extra mil for winning Europa. Those are some of the numbers getting floated around.
Yeah,
But-
dude. But here's my thing. You see what Arsenal's doing already in the transfer window. You see what Liverpool's doing. You see the ambition City have. Those 3 teams are still going to be in the top 4, and then Spurs have to leapfrog Newcastle, Villa. Who else? Forest. I don't think Forest will be there next year. Chelsea. Like, it's hard getting in the top 4 nowadays.
It might be top 6 if the coefficient thing keeps working for Premier League teams. So I don't know. I don't know.
It's true. If another team like Palace wins the FA Cup.
Hey, love that.
I'll tell you what this means for Arsenal. We're getting Gyökeres.
I was gonna ask you,
100% we're getting him now.
how do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm ecstatic. We got our guy.
I don't know.
Missing
Word on the
missing
street.
piece.
I don't know if all Arsenal.
We might have our guy too, Buck. we might be adding one of them too.
What, Frimpong?
too.
No. Oh no. You haven't been on Twitter lately, have you?
Did you ask me a question there?
Who am I kidding? Florian Wirtz is definitely going to Bayern Munich and not Liverpool.
Probably.
However, if Liverpool are willing to spend 120
I thought he
million
had
on
already
Florian
agreed to
Wirtz,
terms with City.
he is not
No,
going
no.
to City.
City
are out.
said he's too much.
Mm.
Might be the
That's
first
good.
time I ever agreed with City, but it is what it is.
That's just not true, though. Like, City just gave Holland a 10-year contract. Nothing is too much money for City. He just told City, I'm not coming to City. If he was
Sure.
too much, Liverpool and Bayern would be like, see ya, we're gone.
Fair enough.
Same-
No, I'm not mad at it. I don't want to argue. It is what it is. I just think
Gyökeres.
someone who's not getting a 10-year contract is Amarim or Ange, even though
think Amram-
Ange won.
I think Amram has a 5-year contract.
He might have a 10-day.
Yeah, they're on
But-
month to month here.
Yeah. They're like paying rent to him, like check due.
I think I remember seeing it like a while back. They would cost them like 17 million to get rid of him or something.
I think that's far too much. That is far too much money.
So yeah, so you gotta keep him. That's a problem.
Yeah.
He's so
Yeah.
bad, dude. He's so bad.
Yeah,
Here's like again though. Here's the thing that United missed, and I don't know how they didn't understand this. Barcelona said no to Amorim. Bayern Munich chose a relegated Vincent Kompany over one of the most winning managers in the Portuguese league. Liverpool said no to him. All these clubs in the summer that wanted new managers said, I don't want to go near him. And United, at the first opportunity they got, said, bring him in. It's malpractice. Somebody inside the club is doing this on purpose, I'm convinced. Because you can't get this many decisions wrong. You just can't, it's not possible.
Yeah. Nope, I agree. I mean, if you don't even look at just Amorim, you got Ugarte for 50 million, and PSG took that and spent it on João Neves. You
Again,
paid
another
however
situation.
much.
PSG didn't want him. Go ahead, continue.
You
Mason
paid
Mount
however much for Mason Mount's another one, but
didn't
then
want him.
Onana.
Inter didn't want him.
Inter
Replaced him
just
with a better
spent that.
goalkeeper.
Yeah, if you saw Summer's performance against Barca, like,
Continue.
come on now.
That's three. Who else you got? You want to throw
Um,
Sancho in there? Overspent for Sancho?
well,
That's four.
Sancho, the freedom fighter. I don't know, man.
Hoyland, that's five. Hoyland scored 10
80
goals
to 80
at
to
Atalanta, and they spent 80 million.
Atalanta just made Champions League again. Yeah, no, there might be an inside job. But
Tell me, dude. It's malpractice.
yeah.
They need to find who it is.
Loki, it's just Big Ange back there. He's like, you think someone named Ruben's gonna ruin my legacy?
I'm not a clown, mate. I'm not a clown. You can call me what you want in the paper, but I'm not a clown.
Don't do if, buts, or maybes, only absolutes. But
I'll do if, buts, and maybes. I'll do absolute. Sorry about it.
But yeah, no, that was the Europa League final recap. Honestly, one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if there's any other final thoughts that you guys have. Spurs got it done. Manchester United, it's looking dark. But
The darkest.
it might be.
I don't remember it being this bad.
It's bad.
I'm not old, but I don't know if it's ever been this bad. Dude, they don't have 40 points in the league yet.
Yeah.
Neither team does though. So it's like,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, football is about trophies. It's not about point tallies. That's why when they engrave the Premier League trophy, there's not a points tally next to it. It's just the club that won it. So Spurs, enjoy your trophy. Man United, good luck. Muck, story of the week. Let's get it rolling, buddy.
All right. We spoke earlier about Onana, the fraud. This guy is probably not as quite of a fraud as Onana, but this guy's name is Carlos Kaiser. He's a Brazilian footballer back in the 80s and 90s. This guy, he played 13 years for 10 different clubs, and he never played a single match, never made a single appearance. And the way he did this, he befriended a bunch of famous footballers in Brazil, got basically recommendations to, get signed for like year-long deals. He would come up with hamstring injuries, and he had a dentist on his payroll that would say he had a constant like a root canal or something like that. So he was never playing. This guy, he kept moving club to club when they kept getting tired of like, why aren't you playing? So then he would just move to another club. And back in the 80s, 90s, obviously communication's not up to par as it is now. So you kind of just hear stories about people. Oh, like this guy, like a bunch of players recommend him. He befriended journalists who wrote articles about him. He used to get on a plastic phone and act like he was turning down transfer offers so other people would hear it, the managers. But there was one time, I believe he was playing for Fluminense, and the head patron of the club was so tired of just seeing him train, not play. He said, "We're putting him on. We're down 2-0. I don't care. We're putting him on." He's warming up, and he goes over by the away fans and gets into a fist fight with the fans. And despite this, so he got a red card, couldn't play, still 0 appearances in 13 years. The manager gave him a 6-month extension for showing such passion for the club. And
Is
then
this
he
in Brazil?
continued to play another like 3 to 4 years. Never played a match.
This is in Brazil.
It's yeah, Brazil. He played in Italy. He played in France. He
Was
played all
there
over.
ever any reason to why he just refused to play?
He wasn't good. Like he just wasn't a good
Because
player.
he'd end
He
up like
wasn't.
Andre Onana, a mime.
Yeah, yeah. So he was never really a footballer. He just was in decent shape and he wanted to be a footballer. So he became friends with them, and that was his end. Once he signed for a club, it's like, all right, another club's gonna sign him, and that's what happened.
Uh,
It's kind of
uh.
what I did in college, honestly. Just befriended a bunch of guys.
In the
You
potter's
know,
board.
became friends with a lot of these guys, and
Oh,
you are who you're around. You associate with good
product of
guys,
your
good players.
environment.
Yeah, you're a product of your environment.
Oh man. Oh man.
There's actually a movie about it. It's called The Greatest Footballer That Never Played. Came out in 2018. They wrote a
I'm gonna
movie.
watch that. I'm
Yeah.
actually gonna watch that because I need to see this heist in real life. So thank you for the story time, Mucky. Appreciate that. Yeah,
Glory,
maybe
glory, Man
for
United. Glory, glory,
I was
Man
gonna say maybe Onana should
United.
probably take some notes and
Glory,
start fighting the
glory,
fans, or
Man
maybe the fans should start fighting Onana.
United.
Just get him off the pitch. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, United and Amrim can be sent to the same prison for their crimes.
I mean shackles and tomatoes. I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it.
I mean, Harry Maguire, again, another Colossus performance, but
Thank
we
you
can just end
so
on that.
much for another episode. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Kenny. We got Smitty. We got Mucky. And we'll be back next week.